Alrighty guys, we have a Nathan M5. As you can see, it is a round base Nathan M5. Now, I can start with all the fun little in-depth detail-age here. Nicely written out there to know where each bell goes. All right, let's see. Everybody wants the C. 712. It's the serial number, at least of the batch. So you can see there. May of 1951. You can see it still needs some work. It's a lot of corrosion that'll have to be dealt with. There's even some rust water in that one. It is a 3/16. Really nice there. But there's a nasty surprise. The number 2, 4, and 5 were 5/16. So what had to be done here, oh shoot, come on, was that right there. Still needs some work. As you can see there, hardware store only had every other worm bolt that I didn't have the size threaded to. And it is crude, but hey, unique sound, unique looks, right? All the O-rings have been gone through, each and every one. As you can see here that the diaphragms are in, well, let's say severe condition. As a result of getting these heads separated from the actual cap, it was either blasted with a blowtorch and spray it, blast it with a blowtorch again, or just cut the head in half, which I don't think anybody would be in favor of. But it was one of those pick and choose kind of deals, because the diaphragms suffered horribly, and I can't begin to explain how horribly. But again, it was pick and choose. This horn would not have come apart. I'll insert some pictures of what this number 1 bell looked like. This was the toughest one to get off. 2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours of just pure taking a blowtorch and going around the entire head here. Just over and over and over again. Spraying it, blasting it, spraying it, blasting it, and then bending the ever-living piss out of my spanner wrench. Busted the studs many times. I don't know how you can see. Look how bent that is. It's all twisted and mangled, and that's not even bad. I had to bend it back umpteen times using the bench vise, because it was so bad. Number 5, that was the easiest one. Just spray it, popped right off. And as he kind of worked up the rear, it just got worse and worse. And you can see that discoloration right there. That was all corrosion. And it's kind of, yeah, you can see the always sees is on there, prepped and ready. Already blew the horn once, but just to get an idea. But yeah, a lot of work needs to be done. But yeah, that discoloration there, that was just all white, just filled with corrosion. The amazing part was that, see how nice these threads are? They did not look like that. Every single thread was caked and literally, I mean caked with pure just oxide, anything. Even that little bit of rust there, it was just completely, and it's amazing that this even came apart. Really. Like, it was pretty much hermetically bound to that head. The fact that this is apart is something in itself. And yeah, you can see there's that top section. Really weird. Well, collector I got it from had it in his collection for many years. Western Maryland, by the way. This is a Western Maryland Nathan M5. And yeah, he just sat in his garage for many years. He never got around to it. And it was sealed from the railroad, which that's what made this adventure so fun. But yeah, if anybody knows how to unwarp sheet metal, this would be the job for you. Look at that. It's just like just taking this off. That is just ridiculous. Clapper disc is totally fine, but just these, oh, it's just awful. It's like one of those, it's like a pair of cymbals. Clang, 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 only it's the worst kind you can get. Yeah, even if it's just, when you rattle it around, that is not how a diaphragm is supposed to sound. And that was done with some white ink. Yes, put the emphasis on the H. White ink. Ignore the label. Well, if it ain't come off, there's some white ink. And you can see that there used to be some, what do we have? PMS 3517 in there, which is a red color. That was like a cool white. And I just took it out, put it in a little can, because who needs a giant monster-sized can of ink? But then again, yeah, every single frickin' one, I tell you. Again, it's just amazing that this thing is apart, sitting in front of all of you. But yes, the diaphragms suffered major damage. But then again, this horn would not be apart if it wasn't for the blowtorch. For dang sure. So we're back to 3/16. On all this. There's some kind of blowout. But from the back end, totally fine. That was just the only one that sort of happened to. Won't see it anyhow. But yeah, those were the two Swansonized ones. But upon, yeah, the further investigation of painstaking hours of blowtorch and WD-40 and freeze-off, it was so hazy. Number one actually required me to run outside and grab some snow and just right in the middle of that spanner boss, because that's where all the heat was focused. That's where all the WD-40 and freeze-off was getting sprayed into, just to shock the mess out of it. And finally, after bending this darn thing about 10 or 12 times, it finally came loose. I tell you, you want to fight, find an M5 that hasn't been opened since the 70s. You'll get one. You'll get a nice fight. And that was from Nathan Airtime. As you can tell, this is probably one of the last bells of the sneeze. See, very pitted. Surprised. Well, whoever casted this bell, they probably got a deduction on their paycheck, because that's just, I mean, look at that. Even in the bottom there, it's actually amazing that this didn't crack off sometime in its lifetime. With all that sound vibration. It's almost like, again, like a last of its kind of deal. That took a little while. That takes some finaglage. Just take a toothpick and again some white, very white ink. Oh, golly gee willikers. Yeah. We'll find a way to make it work, potentially. There's ways, there's I've heard it once, there's many ways to skin a cat. So this will be one of those adventures. This whole M5, this whole frickin' round base M5 has been a absolute adventure. It's been fun though, learning a lot of new things along the way here. And sheet metal unwarpage will be one of them. We'll see how that goes. And all of a sudden, just the whole nasal system has just gone defunct. Of course. There we go. How better? How about that? Still sound clogged. What in the world frickin' is the sneeze? Man, what a disaster. It's still there. You know, this is something you don't see every day, is the stampage that still remains from the Eddie Fitzgerald from the Down. It's not the same song yet, Riri. Yeah, that's gonna fix it. Just touch everything and it'll fix itself. Aha, yes, the number 2 bell. This is a Pat Pending number 2. It's got the fancy numbers, a very nice casting. This guy got a raise and that guy got demoted. Demoted deduction. Is that the right one? Nose is just flea bagging away here. And yes, the number 4. That's another notable mention. She's a button back. That was not a result of me. That was like that when I received the horn. You can see how, yeah, someone else was having an adventure with this horn about 42 years ago. But yes, no button, no button. Well, just trust me. There's no button, no button. Well, you can actually see it through the nozzle. Oh my word, excuse me. Yeah, you ever heard a diaphragm cluster from a M5 sound like that? But yeah, the manifold's really neat. Fantastic, phenomenal condition. Let's see, number, I don't know, maybe I should do some white ink on those. Don't want to go too crazy. Oh yeah, that's right, made in Canada. Where is it? It's made in Canada. And that'll get a nice sandpaper bulldoze. All right, yeah, Johnny boy, get there. Oh yeah, ideas keep a-coming. You can see the red thread lock type stuff and the, well, yeah, the camera, hey. This was done with ball peen to kind of kind of mechanically. You know, everyone thinks that just putting a liquid on everything will work. That does, it's true. Don't get mad at me. I'm just saying, there's plenty of ways to do things. Having a mechanical bond and then taking a nail punch around that, then you have 2 fastening bonds. You have the liquid bond and you have the mechanical bond. Probably gonna need to be remachined, but well, at least those surfaces. But these heads are freaking immaculate. Look at that number 5, like golden shiny. That's the other weird thing too. The number 3 and what was it? The number 3? Yeah, number 3 had really like golden, like yellow bronze. Almost makes you wonder if this thing had the Bakelite diffusers in it and they said, oh, screw that. They probably busted up in a million pieces and then they just made some homebrew. Because that is just some Sexy metal. I mean, seriously, look at that. I guess number 5 does too. Well, yeah, interesting. Well, see, you just learn new things as you go along. The Amera. Well, is it the American Division? Don't remember. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, there is no blockage of Nathan air chimage. It just, it's a straight shot bell. Got your number 1 down there. Air chime, air chime there, and then yeah, massive. Wow, can you imagine trying to make a sales pitch with this thing? Not when you turn it like that. See, looks good there, but my golly, I guess he had childhood screw-offs in the shop back then too, I guess. But any who's, that is the M5 that has been choked back to the 3/16 orifice. And yeah, we'll get that all cleaned up and resambled. We're doing the diaphragm unflorpalorpalage. We're making some headway here, I tell you. Look at that. Looks like we don't have that many casualties after all. So what you do here, quite simple. You just kind of take it without getting burnt. You go around it, go around it. Find your own way to do it and challenge you. Well, not that anybody would want to be challenged with something like this, but come to the conclusion that this M5 was probably involved in a fire. It had to have been, because this is the first time that those clusters have been taken apart. I had them loose during the last video, but as you can clearly see, this is the first time I'm looking at it. And as you can see, every single one just has scorch marks. There's number 1. This is kind of like the done pile. Those have been, for the most part, oh yeah, the press blanket. Kind of the press blanket's worked, but diaphragms aren't anymore, at least. So anything is possible. That's for sure. That is for darn sure. So if you happen to come across diaphragms that look like that, just give it a little treatment. So that is the current update. We are making great headway. I say that's a lot better than beforehand. There's no pop, pop, pop. They're dead. Dead straight. Pretty darn straight. How about it? So we're coming along. The white ink is still drying. Number 5, still have to look at that one. I think that one's a total casualty. Yeah, she warp-related. But as for, golly, moving along here. And just like that, there we go. Sandpaper and wire brushes have been applied. As you can see, how everything is nice and clean. There's some, like, really deep. That one was kind of pitted, so it was a little bit tougher to get some of that deep, really deep scorching out of there. Another side note is that every single bolt came out. Not a single one busted. Even the clamp bolts. Every single one of them. Especially that one, look at that. It's amazing. Honestly, I'd take warped diaphragms over, let's say, I don't know, 2, 4, 6, 8 broken bolts. That would suck. I had a fair share of that. I think a lot of you have had a very fair share of stuff like that happening with bolts busting off and the very nice aluminum, softer material than the hardened steel bolt scenario. But yes, we have brand new gaskets. I didn't get these from any outside source. I made these. At work we have a Zund, or Zund, that's the proper way to say it, Z-U with the 2 dots over it, ND, Swiss cutting device. Just take an Illustrator file and some OG gaskets and mock them up. Illustrator, do all the correct measurements, send it over to the Zund, and boom. Material used? Well, since we're a print shop, we have chipboard up the wazoo. And chipboard is a very good gasket-like material. Use it on all of my Leslies, is the best stuff. So if you can't find like actual gasket material, if you can't find any of that, just go to your local print shop and say, hey, can I have some chipboard? They have skids of it. They go through it like water. They definitely know that for sure. So yes, chipboard is a good substitute for gasket making. And that pretty much goes for everything. The RS5T, anything. Yeah, Nathan horns that require, except corkers, you wouldn't want to use something like this in there. But yes, Leslie's and M series use chipboard. It is much cheaper and much more efficient. There's different thicknesses too. You don't want to use, if you get chipboard, make sure it's not like the overly thick stuff. There's like 3 different types, but just kind of use the feeler finger gauge and you'll know what I'm talking about. Yeah, just kind of go through there. Some rusty. And all the bolts, all original, every single one. And yes, that is something. But now it is time for the funnest part of all, the voicing. And to the M5 bell over here, where the chamber assembly head wasn't a casualty after all. Every single one has been unwarped. Total win, total win. We'll deal with that sometime. And those of you that have not seen M5 in person, the actual number 5 bell on a Nathan M5 is actually very, very tiny. I'll demonstrate with a 5 1/4 inch floppy diskette. Anybody knows what that is anymore? See if you can get the camera correct. If it was an 8 inch, it would just dwarf it, but yeah, she's tiny. A tiny little thing. So there you go. Time to have some real fun. And yeah, you have to get some bolts for blocking that off. But if you're like me and want to make everything 10 times harder than it is, just get yourself some of these from your uncle and some, oh yeah, from before. You can see the impression in there. And a drive belt from a some sort of machine. Old drive belt that a buddy gave me. He's like, oh, you could use this for something. He's like, hey, you're dang right I will. So yeah, so you get yourself 4 of these. And a bunch of hardened, well, somewhat rubber-ish pieces there. Made in Canada. And tee-hee-hee, on a 5th note, you can see that. That's a plus sign. And yeah, prototyping doesn't always go as planned. At least it isn't one of the, well, flip it over. The original ones where the spanner boss was on the other side, so you have to get like an adjustable spanner wrench or a different wrench for each individual head. So I guess that's why that didn't go to plan. It's always when you get so close and you go, oh crap, that's, yeah, that ain't going clear, but that's literally as simple as right-clicking on it, punching in a number, and clicking go. So I'm not going to cut corners on this thing. We're going to make it good. I'm not using the clamp method. I will be for this one. Couldn't find a spare bolt laying around. You can see there, all good. Some old press suckers in there. It's just as good as a rubber washer. It's pretty much what it is. But yeah, there we go. Then we'll voice it after that's been corrected. And this is how you secure. And all right, we got the fixins going here. So it's, like I said, just right click, and then we'll get to the actual gutting. And there you go. After the right clickage, you can obviously tell that it's a lot smaller, which is exactly what we need it to be. You can tell all these are not placed, yada, yada, yada. We will save that. And now she's down there. So now, make sure we're online. That red dot is the positioning. Oh, ref reference point, and then we go. Now, let's see if what we did is correct here. Oh, yeah, I gotta punch out all the jimmies with one hand. All right, let's see. Number 5. Let's see if we corrected that. The offsetting there. Yeah. Oh yeah, bingo. Just like the other ones there. There's always going to be a little bit due to stretching and stuff like that, but that is more like it. So remember before, that was significantly larger. So there, and that will be done with the number 2. Yeah, buddy. She's finally voiced and complete. After fighting with the number 4 bell, ran into some problems. That's most projects for you. The anti-seize, everything all goobered up there. Dang old button backs. That's fine. Sounds like a gem. Alright, as Dr. Doofenshmirtz would say, just got done almost having a mild panic attack. The number 4 and number 5 bell appeared to look like that they were swapped, but what actually happened was that they were swapped from the get-go, and I ended up correcting it. So upon putting it up on the mount, I went, oh shoot. And yeah, so we're good. We're good here. So we're gonna go through this tunnel here, and those are some clamshell Delcos from a Rambler. Make sure a guy has everything here. Sorry about the camera angle. It's the best way to get it to where you can actually see something. Oh look, we got a red light. That won't stop us though. We got a tank full of air, 135 PSI. Oh, that's a majestic shadow. We have a Graham White valve. And let's see, is this light gonna be cool? I'm Come on now. Yeah, let me go. Let me go. Noise warning. Noise warning.
Love it. All right, that's enough.
And there you have it, folks. Another one in the books. Thanks for coming along for the adventure, and I hope you enjoyed. Have a blessed day.